All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody ready to learn a lot? Good deal. Welcome to our farm. And before we get started, has everybody got a chance to sign the liability release?
Battery just died.
Yeah.
Really?
This is our family farm here. And if you want to know what the liability release says, if you get hurt, it's your fault. You know, we told you not to do that. We're working with bees, so you're going to get stung. So, the whole 9 yards. A little bit about this place. We've been living on this farm for 70 some odd years. So, this is our farm. Years ago, couple of quick little stories. We were doing this same thing, bee school several years ago. And my father lived right down here, and he got a couple of mean phone calls. People chewed him out for something he didn't know what was going on. Nobody would tell him what was going on. Finally, one of his friends called him up and chewed him out. And Dad said, "Mike, what are we talking about?" He said, "Bob, you know what's going on in your pasture, don't you?" He said, "I think so. Why?" He said, "Well, they got a Klan meeting. They're dressed in white and they're burning the cross in your pasture." And Dad sort of laughed and said, "Did you really look at them real good? Because the beekeepers are there today." And I was reminded the other day about another thing. We used to give out nukes, bring everything to the farm, and then we'd give out nukes late at night. So after we got finished one day, the police car pulled up. He said, "What are y'all doing?" I said, "Well, we're getting buzzed. Why?" He said, "Well, we're beekeepers." And he said, "Okay." He said, "We got a couple calls of this Klan meeting out here. People dressed in white and they're smoking." So, just some funny things that happen around here. Did everybody get a syllabus about what we're going to do today? All right, don't. There's some leftovers down here. We're going to do several things. We're going to do show you how to light a smoker. Then we're going to show you about protective equipment, how to get it on right. And then Kelly's going to do a class on swarm prevention and how to handle it. With that, we'll break up into two groups. One group will go down to the far side of the hill. The other group will stay up here, and we'll actually go through some hives. We'll do that until about lunch. We'll have a break, lunchtime break, and then we'll do it, swap sides, and the ones that went down will be up here, and the ones here will go down. And then we'll do that, then we'll come back. We've got a class on making sure your queen's good, and then Andy will do a class on how to make divides and splits. Any questions? All right, facilities are real difficult here. There's the woods. For those that want a little bit something more, you go back out here to the right, this way. Sonic Parks on both sides have restrooms for you. And you have a good place time during lunchtime to do stuff. But like I said, out here. You can go in the parking lot anywhere you want to. We're all beekeepers. We're family. Any questions? All right, we're going to turn it over to Terry. He's going to be talking about lighting the smoke.
Good morning. Went off, but that's okay. That's all right. Don't hear me, can you? Nope. That's fine.
Get loud.
Pop. Hello.
Ray's working with the power over here.
Go ahead. So anyway, we're going to talk about smokers. There's a few different types. They're basically all the same, similar. Some have stone lids, some have protective guard. And some are large, some are small, some are tall, some are short. The main difference I find is the bellows. Some of them have plastic bellows, some have these leather. I prefer the leather. It's got a little more control over the smoke. Practice it. It's not hard. That's just me. And as far as fuel, I use pine straw. It's plentiful, it's free, it works really well. I have used oak leaves, but they don't seem to work as well. So pine straw is my go-to. rag, whatever you want to use, but pine straw is what I go for. They have a problem.
There's a little bumps on the
So, if you're going for your leaf people certification, state certified people, they won't let you use a torch to start. You have to start with matches, or they might let you use a lighter. I'm not sure. So we're gonna cover that first. This is the way they want you to start. Just get a small amount. Once you fire in the bottom and your straw on top, you don't fill it full and then light it on top. Otherwise, you got a flamethrower and your toast can be say the wing of your leg right off. You want your smoke to be cool. So you want to fire in the bottom, straw on top. So you can get a little bit right here. Hopefully the wind won't. Got that. Alright. So you put a little bit in there, make sure it's going, give it a little puff. See that's down in the bottom. Like how high it's neat. Just put a little more down in there. Put too much in there too soon, you might snuff it out. Works better if your straw is dry. But once you get it going, probably not gonna go out, hopefully. Good brush. There, you got that thick smoke, that's what you want. Put stuff down in there. Once you got it going, you can salad it down. Keep pumping, don't let it go out. Just pull while you're at it, that way you don't have to keep doing it. You just got one too high, it's not that big a deal, but you get it 6, 8, 10. You don't want to go with empty smoke. So, pretty much all there is to it. Set the lid. Fires at the bottom, straws on top, that's cool. Doesn't harm the bees, but harms them. Smoke master alarm pheromone, and they don't communicate with state. Alright?
How long will that usually last?
Depends on the wind, depends on how tight you pack it, but you know how much you do this. But I can usually get through, if I'm just doing a quick inspection, I can get through 6, 8, 10 hives before I'm. Yeah, but I'm not staying in them that long, you know, if I'm doing a quick inspection, but. Yeah, probably. Like I said, depends on the wind, depends on your straw, depends on how much you're smoking. I try not to smoke any more than I have to. When I go to the high, like, I get a little smoke on the underneath, smoke to the front, and then smoke to the top. It's like, watch down here, maybe one more good all on. I put that. It's aggravating. If you just keep on and on and on, and then pretty soon they'll get aggravated. I'll smoke people when you have to, and if I'm starting my inspection, I like to run it. I like to myself a control with the leather umbrella. I like to run those smoke right down the pipe, right down the flame. Maybe I'll do that once or twice in the box. Good. It's pretty much good. Then that, live. But everybody's bees are different, and everybody develops their own method. You'll figure it out. It's not rocket science, but I like I said, dry pine straw works good for me. You can use it if it's a little bit damp. It smokes really good, but it dumps up the smoke, but it's a little bit harder to light. And so that's lighting it. Primitive way. You know, you might want to invest in one of these. If you got several hives, you can just torch it and go on with it. And you could also, if you want it cheap, you can just stick it right there and it'll light like that. That's cheap. But if you go over certification, then once you light with match, you go a lighter. So you need to know how to do that first. You know, practice that. If you get frustrated with it, but the pine straw works best for me. It seems like it just works better than yes, sir.
So speaking of gumming up, so what's the best way to clean your smoker? You know, I finally did it this year. I was able to get a lot of it off with vinegar, but I mean, was 2 years of it just gumming up, and I couldn't even get the top
Yeah,
off.
I
half the
cleaned
time.
mine last night. It was stopped up. The whole lid was solid, and you had a little hole about that big. I just took that torch out in the dirt spot. And I just lit it with the torch, and it burned like tar. And then just take it out, and just scrape it out. The torch is the best way to clean it. Just burn it off. You see that? That self-sufficient. That'll sit there like that for a while. Too much wind across there will burn it up quick. So I usually go through half a dozen hives before I have to look at it. But so I use minimal smoke. But it just depends on how heavy you are, how much wind you got, what kind of fuel you got, how tight you pack it. Pack it in there tight, it lasts not long. If you just throw something in there loose, it'll burn up in just a couple minutes. You see, I packed it pretty tight. Got to get a little more in there, but it's not really necessary. If the straw's damp, you can't pack it that tight. But it'll take a little more attention, but I'll keep my straw in a bucket. You don't have to have a fancy bucket with a lid, just seems to do. Just try, a couple days before you want to go to the beach, you might want to think about getting some straw. But, that's pretty much it. Any questions? Oh. All right, then. What's up next?
Don't let everybody light their own smoker.
What's that?
Everybody lights your own smoker.
Okay, yeah. That'll be a good time.
Let's spread out, guys. Ready?
Have any problems? Andy, take what you're doing wrong.
Good deal. We're gonna need it. Right here. Like the light it.
Everybody got a lighter?
Because they want you to know how to light them. Torch is cheap. Yep.